Okay, so if there's anything I've learned as a nurse, it's there's more than one way to skin a cat. So, uh, long story short, long story short is I was trying to do a Facebook Live, and apparently I had technical difficulties, and I tried it about 4 or 5 times before I shut it down and said, this ain't working today. So, it's really important for me to record this video because I think it's a topic that nurse entrepreneurs and nurses thinking about starting a business, come across. I know that you come across it. I came across it, but yeah, like I said, I had some technical difficulties this morning. Apparently, I also have some speech impediment here, talking difficulties. But I think it may be related to the weather. We're having today some thunder and lightning showers. So anyway, let's get down to business. My name is Christy Hendricks, and I am the founder of the Arnie Network. That is the Registered Nurse Innovators, Influencers, and Entrepreneurs Network. So what I wanted to talk about today was like how other people react to you when you tell them you want to start a business, right? And you probably get kind of mixed reactions, just like I did. I got some really mixed reactions. So I would love to, here, let me just tell you about my experience. And then I really do want, if you can comment and let me know what your experience was when you told friends and family that, hey, I know you think I'm a registered nurse, and I am, but I'm going to start a business. Because sometimes the two just don't seem to really go together, but hey, whatever. We know it does, right? We know it works. So, I think overall, in general, I got a tepid response from friends and family. Probably more from friends, maybe because they weren't really, they didn't have any skin in the game, so it wasn't really anything to them if I want to, start a business or not. The stronger reactions I think came from family, but they kind of ranged from tepid to discouragement. I don't even recall if I had anybody really strongly encourage me. It seemed to be either a mild response or some words of discouragement. So, for example, what I mean is I did hear things like, well, why do you want to stop being a nurse? Why don't you want to be a nurse? And kind of along that line, I would hear, you went to school to be a nurse, and now you're throwing away all that nursing education. Okay. And I really think it's there's a few reasons. I think one of them is out of this, people's perceptions of what a nurse is. And, they see what's on TV and how nurses are depicted, and they just see nurses as clinical bedside nurses, and that's all. That's all nurses do, don't you know? So, of course, we know that's not true, but, the general public, that's how they see us, right? So, of course, if you're not doing that, then you're not really a nurse. I mean, I had that experience when I was doing medical aesthetics. Well, you're not taking care of sick people, so you must not really be a nurse. It's like, well, you do have to be a registered nurse at least in California, to be doing aesthetics at the time, when I was practicing. But, so yeah, you're not really a nurse. You're not really going to be a nurse. You're going to stop being a nurse. Which for some of us kind of is like a dagger to the heart, like, but that's what I am. I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. I'm just a nurse who wants to start a business, So, and actually, a lot of nurses, a lot of you I know have businesses that are related to health and wellness in some way. Whether you're blogging about health and wellness issues, or whether you have or started or opened a skilled nursing facility, or if you do have a business where you send out travelers, or you have a nursing podcast, or something maybe that serves new grad nurses or nurses getting ready to take an exam, whether it's the NCLEX or whether it's a case management exam or IBCLC exam, whatever. So a lot, a lot, I know a lot of nurses are doing things like that. And also, as well as like health coaching. That's a real popular one, for nurses to go into. So in that respect, I can see, I don't see, it's like, okay, well, I'm still a nurse and I'm helping people with their health and wellness. So, but then there are nurses really kind of like myself who are, really still cling to that, I'm a nurse thing, but I'm not doing something that requires my nursing credential. Actually, I could give up my nursing credential tomorrow if I wanted, but I choose to keep it. So getting back to, people's responses, that's one of them is like, why do you want to stop being a nurse? Which, I don't know, I think most of us never really do stop being nurses, right? Even though we may have a different job or we start our business, right? So, or you're throwing away, oh my gosh, you're throwing away all that nursing education. Oh my gosh. And that, it's like when I hear that, it's like I see my dad. I see my dad and I think he worked so hard to put all of us through college, myself and my 3 brothers through college, through university. And, yeah, I don't want to hurt Dad. But, actually, the truth is I got my bachelor's degree in a different field, and so I didn't spend as many of his dollars getting my nursing credential. Actually, I don't think I spent any of his getting my nursing degree. So, so there you go. Why am I so worried about it? Maybe I should be worried about what my husband was thinking, since he was the one putting food on the table a lot of times, or managing the bulk of that, actually, because I was working, when I was going to nursing school. So anyway, I didn't throw away that nursing education because, there's stuff that we learn in nursing that transfers to every walk of life, right? It doesn't matter. You learn things in nursing school that help you no matter what you're doing, no matter what kind of business you're in, no matter what kind of job you hold. You learn things in nursing school that help you in life, right? And not just nursing school, but you learn things in nursing practice that other people they probably don't ever learn, or maybe they learn them in different ways. But boy, I don't know, we kind of have a unique perspective on human behavior, emotions, family interactions, things like that, that maybe other people don't have, and we're kind of privileged in that sense that we have that experience as nurses when we're practicing. So, okay, so you tell them, I'm going to start a business. Here's another reaction I got. Oh my gosh, I think I know who this one came from, but I'm not going to say, just in case that person should ever stumble upon this video. What do you know about business? Right? What do you know about business? You don't have a business degree. You've never owned a business before. You've never run a business before. You just work in healthcare, right? That's pretty common, actually, just that. I think that response. What do you know about business? And I'll be honest with you, when I started business, actually, let me back up. Let me backtrack. Because I was going to say I knew nothing about business, but that's not really true. I knew stuff, but it was all self-taught. And I had an interest in business since I was a child. Since I remember being a teenager and thinking, oh, this would be a good business. This would be a great bit. Oh, I could start this business. I mean, I was a kid and I was thinking about business, but I never jumped into that or took advantage of that or did that when I was a teenager, a child, or a young adult. But looking back now, I can see all these different times that I thought, I can make a business out of this. So I think I always had it in me, that desire or that kind of that business bent or that entrepreneurial bent. And then when I started kind of getting more serious about it, thinking I am going to start a business, then you start learning. Just it's self-learning. You go to where you need to go to learn how to do this, that, and the other thing. And that may be something like the Small Business Administration. It could be, different groups. Could be meetups. It could be courses. It could, whatever. There's, 1,000 different places to learn how to do business. So I was self-taught, and I did that, and I did learn how to do business. And there are lots of different ways to do business. Like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You can get your business degree and learn all the useless stuff, or you could just get out there and get your hands dirty and learn it on your own, which is really kind of how I learned. And now I make a living out of it. I mean, I love nothing more than helping other nurses learn how to do business online. So I think because that's what I had to do when I started my first, I don't even want to say it was my first business. It was probably my third business. Just learning how to do business online, learning how to create graphics, learning how to build a website, learning email marketing and lead generation and video and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. Actually, you do have to learn a lot as a nurse in business, and it certainly isn't something that they teach us in nursing school. But for some nurses, it's drudgery. They don't want to have to learn that kind of stuff, and for others, like myself, it's a lot of fun. I just do it because it's fun. I enjoy it. And then there are always elements of the business or this, that, different kinds of elements, I guess, of a business that you don't enjoy doing. Some things like coding. I never learned how to code. I have no desire to learn how to code. So you probably will never see me teaching you how to code. But so yeah, what do you know about business? That's a real, I think that's a fairly common one, response that you get from people who think, well, you can't start a business because you've never done it before, or you can't start a business because you didn't go to business school, something like that. So, and then I think probably the last thing I would say would be people just don't equate nurses with business, which is really, I understand it. I honestly really do understand it, because nurses take care of patients, right? We take care of our patients. But nurses are incredibly smart and intuitive. And if nothing else, I'm telling you, we can make anything, we could build anything out of an IV pole and microspore tape, right? I mean, we could probably launch a rocket ship to the moon with some tape and an IV pole. But, and so there are a lot of nurse innovators out there, inventors, who come up with a better mousetrap, because by golly, we're the end users, right? Who better to come up with an invention or, a new medical device or some sort of an IV start kit or something that it's just works so much better because it was created by a nurse. The ones who are always, who are there using it, right? So there are a lot of, finally, nurses are being listened to when, it comes to things like innovation, medical devices and supplies and things like that, but also healthcare design. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you. I mean, have you ever worked in a hospital where you think, who the heck came up with this layout? Because it doesn't work, right? As you're trying to get to your patients to and fro and this and that. Oh my gosh. They obviously did not consult nurses. I'll just tell you that. I worked at this one hospital. I won't name it, but actually did really enjoy working there down in San Diego. But I did work for this one hospital where for our unit, I was in the NICU. The nurse's lounge, where you go to have lunch or something, or take a break or relax or something, watch TV. The nurse's lounge was an afterthought. They actually forgot to build or design a nurse's lounge. No place to go. So they gave us a closet. Yes, a closet. And they put 2 couches and a refrigerator in it. And There was no bathroom. No, we had to go way down the hall for that. Yeah. So I'm really glad to see that there are nurses doing environmental design. Boy, oh boy, am I glad to see that. So anyway, that's kind of really all I had for today. I just needed to share somehow. I wasn't able to get onto Facebook Live, but if possible, maybe I will get this uploaded there. And so you can tell me what you think and let me know what your experiences are in, telling people that you're starting a business and getting their reaction. I would love to know what you have come across and how people reacted to your declaration that you're going to be a nurse entrepreneur. So, okay, well that's enough of my ramblings. And this is Christy Hendricks with the RNE Network, Registered Nurse Innovators, Influencers, and Entrepreneurs, thanking you for hanging out with me for a few minutes. All right, bye-bye.